Hello Year 5 and 6. This is session 3 of our English unit on The Pied Piper of Hamelin by Robert Browning. In today's lesson we are learning to answer inference questions. Before we look at these type of questions together today, you will need to pause this video and read verses 7 to 13 of the poem using your version of the text. Remember, continue to clarify the meaning of any unknown words as you read. You can look back at lesson 1's video to recap these strategies if you need to. So pause now, have a go at that, and then play when you're ready. So let's look at some top tips for inference questions. These type of questions involve reading between the lines and figuring out something about a character or something about the text for yourself. So here are some tips. Read the question and highlight the keywords. This allows us to think about what the question wants us to do. It might be one of three things. The question might want you to find evidence for a point that has already been given in the question. It might want you to make a point from evidence that has been given in the question, or it might want you to do both. Make the point and back it up with evidence from the text. We'll have a look at these different types of questions together shortly. Remember, your answer can be written in bullet points and in note form. It doesn't need to be written in sentences, and you wouldn't be marked for your punctuation either. And just like yesterday, when you finish the question, read the question and the answer together to ensure that you've actually answered the question presented. So here's a question which says, look at the verse beginning 1,000 guilders, the mare looked blue. What impression do you get of the mare in this verse? Use evidence from the text to support your ideas. So let's highlight the keywords in this question to help us understand what we've got to do. Look at the verse beginning 1,000 guilders, the mare looked blue. What impression do you get of the mare in this verse? Use evidence from the text to support your ideas. So there's the keywords in the question. When I say look at a verse beginning, it tells me to go and find that verse in the text and put a star next to it is a good tip. Now I know I've only got verse 11 here, but you've got many verses in your text. So when you found verse 11, put a star next to it like that, so you know where you're looking in the text. So it says what impression do you get of the mare? And I know the word impression means what do I think about him? So it wants me to give the point of what I think about him, but then it also wants me to find evidence to support my ideas. So this question wants me to do P, the point, and E, the evidence. So when you read verse 11, you will be thinking about the character of the mare and what your thoughts are of him. 1,000 guilders, the mare looked blue. So did the corporation too. To pay this sum to a wandering fellow with a gypsy coat of red and yellow? Beside, quoth the mare with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink. And what's dead can't come to life, I think. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you very well know, was in joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. So the point I would like to make, the impression I get of the mayor here, is that he doesn't keep his word. I know earlier in the text he said he would pay him, and now he's saying, as for the guilders, what we spoke was in joke. So he's saying that he wasn't really being truthful. So the impression I get is that he doesn't keep his word. he doesn't stick to his words, and my evidence from the text. And I've used a quote mark here. So these quote marks, or inverted commas, show that I've taken these words directly from the text. It's okay to put the words, to paraphrase and put the words in your own words instead. So, as for the Gilders wasn't joke. He said earlier he would pay the piper, and now he has done what he wanted him to do. He's saying he was joking about the payment. So that's my evidence, and I've explained how my evidence tells me he doesn't keep his word. Let's have a look at another question together. Explain what the following line suggests about how the piper was feeling. The piper's face fell and he cried. I'm just going to underline the keywords in this question. Explain what the following line suggests about how the piper was feeling. And then this whole line is key information too. The piper's face fell and he cried. So I would go to the text and find that and underline it. Here it is, the start of verse 12. The piper's face fell and he cried. And then I'll read around that too. No trifling, I can't wait, besides. So this question wants me to explain, okay, the feeling. I've already been given the evidence for this example, and I've got to say what this evidence tells me about the piper. So if your face falls, it means that you are upset. And if you are crying, it means you're upset. So I'm going to use my knowledge of those words to show you an explanation. He was upset with the mayor because he didn't keep his promise. So I've gone on to explain why he was upset using my understanding of the text. I'd like you to have a go at this question now. Look at the verse beginning, all the little boys and girls. What evidence is there that the council was shocked? So I've helped you out by showing you it's actually verse 15. You can find this in your text, put a star next to it, have a go at this question, jot down your answer, and then watch back on this video to check how you got on. Here's an example answer to this question. It wanted you to find evidence, and the point was already given. The council was shocked. Here's the evidence that I got. They stood as if they were changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry. These are direct quotes taken from the text, and they show that the council were shocked. If you got either of these, well done. Now you are ready to complete English Activity 3, which involves answering inference questions based on the poem. Remember to use the top tips from today's video to help you. You can find the worksheet in the Files to Download section, and you can also find the answers too. Make sure at the end of the session you mark your work so you can see how you've got on, and if you've got any reflections you can have a go in a different coloured pencil.